going to give us the children's story this morning, and he will be down momentarily. He's on his way. Thank you.
I want you to think about something as I share an experience that happened to myself, Jason Lockridge, and Jason Hovey yesterday. Think about something that you really, really want. Think about something that you think you're doing without, and you really, really want. And think about those things as I share our experience yesterday. Since Brother Hovey has been with us, we've been utilizing Fridays to go into the city and do outreach. We don't always know exactly where we're going to go, and yesterday we thought, you know, when we have our upcoming camp meeting at Passover, Brother Hovey's going to lead out in some street ministry outreach for those who are interested. But we're not sure exactly where we will go and to find Muslims or anyone else that we might be able to witness to. But our thoughts yesterday is, why don't we look for the hub of the transit system in town? So we went to a place way out to get on the transit system, the subway or the train or whatever they call it. I'm not exactly sure what they called it. Marta. To go into the hub of the city, which is called 5 Points. That's where 5 lines of rail come together and everyone gets off their trains and they go to wherever their destination is. So there are lots of people there. So we took our train ride. We weren't exactly sure which train to get on. And as we were hesitating, a train pulls up and a woman is standing there, and we were discussing amongst ourselves, is this the train? And this is the train. And she says, this is your train, get on. It's like, okay. So we went and got on the train. And she sat across from us, and she was sharing with us that that she was a Christian and that her father was a minister. And we just had a nice conversation as we were riding the train. And she said, when you get to 5 Points, be very, very careful, because that could be a bad part of town, and you want to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and what's happening. It's like, okay, don't frighten us. But we are here on a mission to do our Father's work. I want you to think of the word divine appointment, because it's going to apply in this story. Divine appointment. We get off at 5 Points, and we come outside, because we were underground. We come outside and we look at all the buildings and the surroundings and people moving here and moving there, and not sure exactly where to go. Well, let's make a circle. Let's not get ourselves lost. Let's just make a circle, a few blocks, and go around. And see if we can see anyone that we might be able to share something with. Brother Hovey had some materials to specifically outreach to Muslims. And we actually found a couple of ladies along the way. They were dressed in their traditional dress, and so he gave them the greeting and gave them the material, and we walked on, because it's not proper to have a conversation with a lady on the street like that. So we just shared with them. And as we were going along, we recognized a restaurant that some of us like to go eat at. It's like, well, if we get hungry, we might come back here to eat. But we continued on, and our brother Jason Lockridge was with us, and he has shared in the past that if he doesn't eat at a certain time, that he'll start to get headaches. And he shared that he was starting to get one of his headaches, and we said, well, let's go back to the restaurant we saw that we like to eat at. And he said, no, I'm fine. I can go on. So we did. We continued on our journey in town, and Brother Hovey was encouraging Brother Lockridge to, well, no, we don't want you to get a bad headache, because we have an appointment this afternoon. And Jason says, no, I'm fine. Well, as the circle goes, we found ourselves by that restaurant again, and Mr. Lockridge said, I knew that you would bring me back here eventually, and he decided that, okay, I will go in and eat. So he went inside and placed his order. By that time, Brother Hovey had exited the restaurant, and I was waiting for Brother Lockridge, and we were walking out the door, and Brother Lockridge looks in his bag and says, there's no napkins. Now think of divine appointments all this time. Divine appointments, divine appointments. There's no napkins. So he goes back in. I go outside and I see Brother Hovey going across the street. There's another restaurant over there of an ethnic restaurant, and he is interested in looking at the menu. And I'm thinking, well, Brother Lockridge is here inside, and if Brother Hovey's across the street, Brother Lockridge will come out of the restaurant, and if I follow Brother Hovey, Brother Lockridge won't know where we are. So I stand there and wait for Brother Lockridge to come out of the restaurant, or Brother Hovey to come back, whoever gets there first. Neither of them got there first. Someone else got there first. A gentleman. I would say probably he was in his late 30s, a black gentleman, comes and stands in front of me. And he says, excuse me, sir. I don't know about you, but have you been anywhere, especially in a big city, when someone comes to you and says something, and your mind immediately goes, I know exactly what they're going to ask me. They're going to ask me for money. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And in your mind, you've already prejudged the situation and who they are and what they're going to do. So I judged in my mind that this man was going to ask me for money. He said, excuse me, sir, I'm not asking for money. Okay, what's next? In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what are you asking for? He says, I'm hungry. Once again, he reiterated, I'm not asking for money. I just want a meal. We have a decision to make when someone asks us a question. And I also must admit, at this point, I did, in the affirmative, say, yes, let's go inside here and I'll get you something. And we headed that direction. And the enemy, just like that, put thoughts in my head. Oh, what a nice scam to go up to people and ask them for a meal so they don't have to buy anything. I needed to repent for that thought. But it's amazing what the enemy wants to do to us in our minds. But we are walking into the restaurant, and we go to where there's a big menu on the wall, and you make your choice from the menu. He says, I have never been here, and I don't know what to get. Will you choose for me? Something else came into my mind as he said that. He asked me for a meal, but he made no demands further than that. He could have looked at the menu and picked out the most expensive item on the menu. It's like, I'm here, someone's giving me a free meal, I will take advantage. No, he did not take advantage. He asked me to choose. Now the ball is in my court again. Will I be generous, or will I pick the cheapest item on the menu so I'm out the least amount of money? That's another decision we would have to make if we were in that situation. I said to him, well, I'm a vegetarian. He said, oh, okay. So he, Then it was in his court again because he had to make a decision, because he recognized that if I chose for him, it would be from the vegetarian menu. I simply pointed out to him, I said, I like burritos, and pointed to the burrito area of the menu. So he was then able to make a choice. He chose a burrito. Where is our two Jasons at this time? They are both in the restaurant sitting down at a table. Jason has decided to eat his lunch inside. We thought we might go outside because we might be able to see more people and maybe someone would come up to us. But it was a little chilly, so he decided to eat inside. And this gentleman is with me. I'm paying for his food. And we have another choice. Many times in instances like this, I've recognized that what we do is we either give money, we give them something, and send them on their way. We go, we're done. Oh, I've done my deed. I've given them money, I've given them food, now I can go home. My friends were at a table and Jason was eating. I have a new friend here with me that I've just purchased a meal for. I will welcome him into our fellowship by inviting him to sit down and eat with us. And he agreed. And then he shared his story. He's a homeless man. The last time he had eaten was 3 days ago. He has a place sometimes at night. The Salvation Army in Atlanta is very good. They have a place where people can come, but they only have a certain amount of free beds. And once the free beds are full, then it's $10 a night. A homeless person, how much money do they have? He said he was from Texas. He had been in the Atlanta area in the 90s when they were getting prepared for the Olympics. So he had come here looking for work then, and I believe, from what I understand, that he had a job back then. And so when it came to dire straits for him in Texas 3 months ago, he decided he would come back to Atlanta. Oh, his money is gone. He has no friends. He has no family. And he only has the clothes on his back. His name is Reggie. And the jobs that he has done in the past is in the restaurant industry, anywhere from cook to busboy to dishwasher, anything like that. So as we're talking, my brother Jason Lockridge is thinking and saying that if at all possible, he would like to do what he can to help Reggie. Possibly speak to some friends that he knows. Maybe there's an opportunity for a job. He said to Reggie, I'm not promising you anything, but I'm willing to try. When Jason recognized that Reggie had nothing else but the clothes on his back, he said, I would like to take you somewhere to get you some clothes. We had an appointment that afternoon, and Mr. Lockridge sent Jason Hovey and myself on to our appointment so that he could spend some time with Reggie. Reggie was the most humble and most gracious person. Even in the shopping experience, they went around to several stores, and Reggie often would say, these prices are too high. He was the one who was gracious and allowed Jason the opportunity to pay less. Think about the word divine appointment and think of how this happened. The first time we passed by the restaurant, we could have stopped and Jason could have gotten his burrito, eaten, and we could have gone on. We passed by the restaurant. We walked around probably about an hour after that before we made it back to the restaurant again when Jason was finally ready to eat something. Our Father placed someone in our path at just a precise, exact moment where we would be in a position to make a decision. What will you do? said before, I had some thoughts in my head that weren't very nice about people that come up to you and are going to ask for something. But I praise our Father for that appointment yesterday. And we are so blessed because we are able to come home. Both Jason's and myself were able to come home last night and have a meal ready for us when we got there. We were able to go to bed when we wanted to. We were able to get up when we wanted to. If you're staying at the Salvation Army, you're out on the streets again at 7 in the morning. So whatever it is that we talked about, I asked you the question in the beginning, what do you think you need the most right now? What do you think that you are missing out on the most right now? Switch that thought to think about what you already have and how blessed you already are. Thank you for listening to my story. I'm sorry I jumped into some of the Sabbath school time, but praise our Father for divine appointments. Yes, go ahead.